Good evening. Welcome to Monday night Airfix and Chill. I had a good comment at the weekend that made me proper chuckle, and they said this is like the loose women for scale model shows, like what I mean, or scale modeling, and I did kind of laugh at that. If you're not, I don't think John Alec and Jim will get it. We have a daytime show which is called Loose Women. And basically, it's a panel of 5 women, and they have guests on, and they basically they put the worlds to rights, I guess, is what you could say. I don't watch it.
Sounds like I over here. Ugh.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, you've got Whoopi Goldberg and that crew, haven't you, over there, Jim and John, haven't you? Is it called Round Table?
So I hear.
Yeah, I've never watched it.
Yeah. That's a good answer, John.
Very good answer. Anyways, I hope you're well. Well, I think I try and do this about once a month, once every 6 weeks, to have an open platform. So basically, we do have a few topics I want to run over. I want to just continue on a little bit about the Jaguar situation with Airfix last week, because I think they've resolved the situation the best way that they could. I'll go into that, but also I've been researching that kit, and not everything is as black and white as you might think. We're going to look. So we're going to look at that. Look at the Jaguar. Jadlam have got their latest group build. We're going to talk about that. Just glance on that. And also, I have produced a video now, which I'll update every week. If you are a scale model club and you are hosting a scale model show and you want it advertised here on Airfix and Chill, we will advertise it. We'll do like an interlude, say about 45 minutes in, and I'll play this minute video of all the model shows that are happening in the UK. So if you want that, you can come and join us. Anyways, we've got quite a few people in the chat. I have invited a chap called Clive's modelling channel to join us, but he's not got back to me. And I've also invited on North Devon Model Society to come and join the crew. So yeah, pretty much that's where we're at with that one. Anyway, so good evening, John Alec. Good evening, Jim. Good evening, Zinzan, and good evening, John, or Joffy, I should say. I'll say Joffy. I like that, Joffy. So let's just start off with the situation with Airfix and their Jag before we get into any questions. Are you North Devon Model Society? I can't see you in. If you, I know you're alive, but if you can log in, and make sure you're logged in with yourself, we'll get you on, definitely. So, as you all know, Airfix re-released their Jaguar as a vintage classic, but unfortunately there was a problem, and if I go to share screen, which hopefully I can do now, if I go to share screen and click on this one, hopefully you can all see that, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Jaguar from back in the day, and basically they released this one, which is the Sepicat Jaguar GR1, and you can clearly see that it has that nose on the front with the glazing, and then you have, is it called the warning system. That little plate that's on the back of the fin there on
It's
the
called
tail.
it's called an RWR. It's a radar warning receiver.
Radar warning. Yes, that's correct. And so this was basically the box art, and you can clearly see there that that's what they were aiming to into the box, that plastic. But unfortunately, it looks like we have this box art here, which was released in 1993. This one here. Okay. So you can see there's a different nose on it. There's like a bit of a bubble underneath. So basically what happened is that you can see on scale mates here, and I think you can all see it as well as I can. Can you not see it or not? Is it not coming up?
No. It's not shared. Look.
No. Come on. There you go. Let's start
There
again.
we go.
So I do apologize. So basically you can see on the frame here, in 1993, they released this one here, which is the Hella A, the Jaguar A, which is the A variant, which is like the one that the French used at the front there. You can see that nose. And then on here, you've got the GR1, which is that nose section. Can you see that now? Is that all right? You can see it all. It's all working. Let me get it off the page a minute so I can see what I'm looking at. Right. So basically, you've got that nose with the glazing on the front, and you've got the warning system at the back there, 2025. But in between that, and that's what they wanted to release. So basically, they wanted to release, I think, it wasn't the original 1970s Jaguar.
No.
That there is the prototype. You can see with the nose at the front there, you've got that very pointed nose with the pitot tube at the front, and you don't have the warning at the back. Okay. Now they didn't want to release that one. They re-released it again in 1975, and you can see the box art is the same, but scale mates are saying it's new parts. That's not true.
No,
because it wasn't new parts. I've actually got the one on my desk right here now, which they released back in 1978, and you can see that the box art has changed very slightly by putting that nose on the front.
Yeah.
And I think that is the one that Airfix wanted to release. Sorry, I've just got a message. I'm going to bitch slap. So there, you've got the nose there all changed, So I think that is the one that Airfix wanted to release, not the original one from the 1970s. So, that's where it's at. And fair play, and if you go back into scale mates, you can see that the timeline was in 1993 here. Hella released it with the A variant, and then straight after they continued releasing that Jaguar as GR1 or GR4. I think 2004 was the GR3. So you had the extra rockets on top, didn't you? So, which is fair enough. But then that's the last time they launched it was in 2004, and then Hella got their mitts on it again and released it again in 2005, we believe, as this Jaguar A. So I'm under the impression that the nose and the tail have extra inserts in the tooling to let you or allow you to have that. That's just my impression and looking at the research. So, but anyways, Airfix wasn't happy in what happened. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
And I kind of understand how it could have been made. In theory, what I was looking at was, as a vintage classic, they normally revert back to the first time something had been released. So you get like the decals and the schemes that were the original one from it when it was first released in the 50s, 60s, or 70s. But because we all know and love the GR1, I assume that that's where they want to go. And that's the only difference in the tooling is that fuselage. Just the nose and the fin at the back is different. But I'm in all fairness, I see Barry's in. I'll let Barry in so he can join the conversation. Hi, my friend.
Hello there.
Hiya. So we said, but to be fair with Airfix, I think they've paid a blinder here, because I got an email from them saying, "Dear customer, thank you for purchasing the 1/72nd scale vintage classic Sepicat Jaguar GR1 model kit. Unfortunately, an unexpected packaging error has resulted in the wrong item being included. We sincerely apologise for this mistake. At Airfix, we take pride in our high standards of accuracy, authenticity, and attention to detail. Errors are rare and deeply regrettable. And of course, they're going to be deeply regrettable. But we would like to make this right. And this is what they've done. They've offered us, and actually, I believe, if I look at my bank account now, they've refunded everyone that's bought this kit from the Airfix website would have received their refund back to their bank account. You will keep your Hornby rewards points as well. So and they'll do this. So if you look on there, you've still kept your reward points. And then I've whited out mine, but yeah. So I didn't want you all to nick my voucher code. And as a token of our appreciation for your continued support, we've also like to offer you a 50% discount code for future purposes. And then they're saying, thank you again for your understanding and passion for Airfix. Well, yeah, of course there's passion there. I'm a loyalist. They can do no wrong. But if you want to build a French version, there's one in the box. Now, what about those who bought them from the scale model shop, their local model shop? Dale, I'm going to just quote Dale and what he said to me, and if I'm right, he'll text me and say I'm talking shit. But anyways, this is what I think's happened. They have credited all the shops with the purchases of that kit, and then they can do whatever they want with that kit. If you've bought one from your local model shop and you're not happy, you should be able to go back to your local model shop or ring them or contact them and say, I'm not happy with this kit. And in theory, they should refund you or do something for you.
They absolutely should.
That's actually common law, Moss.
Yeah, I know it's coming up, but I'm just saying. Yeah. So you can go back to your model shop and say, "I don't want this kit because it's French," and they will give you either your money back, and you can also keep the kit, I believe, because I think
that's a good deal.
The actual right thing, and also and I know, and that kit is going to be like the Blackbuck, the Vulcan, with the mistake in it. So don't open your box, keep it, because in 20 years' time, there's only a couple of thousand out there. That's going to become a pretty rare kit. And I think that what Airfix have done, that they can, that they've actually fulfilled their obligations, and I think they've done the right thing.
Do you want to know another kit that's unbuildable?
Yeah.
1957 1/72nd scale Airfix Walrus.
Is that unbuildable? Is it?
It's I did it earlier this year. It's a Type 1 baggy, 1957, and the wing struts are too short.
Yeah.
I built this fuselage, put the bottom wings on, put the engine on, put the wing struts on. We didn't put the struts on top of the engine. Test fitted the top wing, and the top wing was resting on top of the engine.
Wow.
They retooled it in 1958.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, fair play.
Oh, I'll tell you what, then, if you go back to Airfix, I'm sure they'll give you 2 and 6.
Yeah.
Some of the baggy edges I've got is marked 2 shillings.
It's a shame you're building.
You go for it.
Let's just stick to the Jaguar at the minute. Let's get this over with. And they've also asked, and if I remember rightly, they've also asked retailers not to sell it because they can't look. Because in theory, they can't support it for spares. Basically, it won't be. That kit is been and gone. And if I was any scale model shop who's got this outstanding stock, they haven't paid for it now. They're going to get a credit on their account.
Right.
I would just give them away as a freebie to people, and those people can then grab hold of them. and then put them to one side in their stash. And then in
Theory.
years to come, they'll be worth a few quid, won't they?
In theory, the
shop
model
to
shops could sell them at 50% discount as French Mark 8.
I don't think they could though, because it's not what's in the box. Here we go. We're
Yeah,
talking
but-
about legal now, but I don't think. I think if I was a scale model shop, I would just say, look, this isn't it. If you need to get some French decals for it,
Yeah.
off you go, and away you are, So
Yeah, but if you sell the product telling the customer that it is a French Mark 8, that's
Yeah.
not breaking the law because you're not disclosing what isn't in the packaging.
Well, I don't think. I think it's up to a model shop then to decide.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
I think if Airfix haven't asked for those kits back, I think they will go down as a bit of like Airfix
Loss
law,
leader.
and
Bit of a tax write-off.
yeah, but at the end of the day, I think that they will come back on board with a GR1 at a later date, a proper tooled one. But if you've got one in your stash, fair play. Like I said, I've got the where did I put it to? I've put it here somewhere. So this is it. And this is the 1978 release, and you can see it's got the word new on it because that's the new parts. But what I found fascinating more than anything was how they photoshopped that box art from 1970 and added the GR1 nose and the tail on it, and you still got the explosion at the back. It's the exact same box art apart from those two bits. So yeah, I'm pretty much it's very much one of them really.
It's like a lot of the Airfix box art.
52nd scale you could purchase in its place. I don't mean the T2. Well, there are kits out there on eBay if you want to go and buy one, but there isn't any. I think I don't know if Hella have still got some in their arsenal. I don't suppose they have they? They've got the 48, and that's it, isn't it?
The Italieri and the Revell kits, I believe, are the same thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think Airfix sold that tooling to anyone other than Hella. In actual fact, I think Hella were the people that were releasing like the re-releases leading up to the GR3. I think it was still under the Hella ownership at the time. Under Maguire and McGuinness, wasn't it?
Yeah. So just quickly going back to this, so I could just confirm what I'm saying. On here, if you go to this is what I thought was brilliant. So if you go to the 1970s box art, can you see that box art there?
Yeah, that's the original prototype.
Yeah, the original one. So you can see the nose and the tail there.
Yeah.
It's absolutely spunk, and even the explosion in the back. Then when you go to 1978, when they reboxed it with the new parts, it's exactly the same plane, apart from they've done something to the tail and the wing. So yeah, I thought it was really clever how they did that back in the day. Because they used to sanitize them anyway, didn't they? They used, if it looked too graphic, they would remove all the explosions and stuff. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, so if you've got one, which I have here on my, if you've got one of these, and I'll just come up here, let's remove that. So if you've got one of these, you are, you're one of the lucky ones because these are now a defunct product. So I reckon in future they will be worth a few quid. So yeah. So anyways, I think Airfix have pulled a blinder here. If you've got one, you got a free kit. You can get your money back. Model shops can decide. Obviously they've got to give their money back. Somebody's not happy to give their money back. But I think a lot of people will just keep the kit, to be honest, and just think, I think they've done right. What do you think, Roger? Zinzan, do you think that's pretty good?
It's the best way of dealing with this, and people are often judged, in business by really what they do when things go wrong, and they've held their hands up and they said, right, this has gone wrong. Here's what we're going to do, and no one's in any doubt. I think props to them on this one. Well done.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get a better outcome than that, surely. In this day and age.
Short of disemboweling Dale and presenting his, entrails to the wind or something, someone might want that, but no. I mean, I speak in humour only.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the right way of going about this.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a mistake. It happened.
Yeah.
And make no mistake, they've lost a bit of money on this. They've spent some money on this, you know, to make sure their customers are happy.
Yeah,
good for them. Good for them.
Just got a comment on Facebook, Barry. That walrus is buildable because they've built it. So apparently, it's buildable. That walrus.
Yeah, when I built it, I bought the later tool. Everything between the two wings was 1958 on.
Yeah,
but
right.
the wing struts were like 5 millimeters too short.
Oh well, we're assemblers, not scale modelers, I guess.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah. It was a Type 1 baggy.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have done that, saved the background, most definitely. But as I said, with graphic designs and everything.
Just a quick point, Moss. The last kit that Roy Cross did was the 75 release Prince Eugen. So that Jaguar was definitely reshot after he'd come out of the company and wasn't doing any more art for them.
No.
But he did do the original prototype photo.
Yeah. It'd be interesting if they still got that. They could do all three, couldn't they? They could do the GR1, GR2, GR3, and the prototype.
Yeah. And you could
so Scalemates is wrong. So Scalemates is definitely wrong.
Scalemates sometimes is.
Yeah. But they've got it, fair enough. Tallery do a Sepicat Jag in 1/72 scale.
So does Frog. Frog do one as well, but don't buy the Matchbox kit. It's terrible.
The Matchbox one's terrible, is it?
It's absolutely atrocious. I built it recently, and the nose is all. Oh, it's just not right.
Yeah. Oh. Buy one get one free offer. Okay. Why don't they donate them to Models for Heroes? I suppose they could. I don't think Airfix will. I think they'll have a plan for that plastic. I don't think it will end up in any landfill. So,
do you think there's
so brilliant. So anyway, that's all done and dusted. So I think, as I said, at the end of the day, it's pretty much. I think everyone's going to be happy. Airfix isn't going to be happy because they've not done it, but I get the impression from some of the messages I've received this week that they are looking into and they think they know what's happened, and they do want to release a GR1. So watch your space, ladies and gentlemen. Watch your space. If you have any questions, scale modeling wise, please feel free to put them in the chat. QQQ or question at the beginning. If you've got a comment, obviously CCC. I will end up in TK Maxx along with all the mismoded Revell helicopter kits. Do you know what's funny? That I did hear that TK Maxx had Revell. Not Revell, had some model kits in there. Was it last Christmas? So, comment from Airfix's point of view, I don't think the real concern is how they've handled this error, but the sequence of events allowing it to happen in the first place. Yeah.
I don't know if I totally agree with that, Moss.
Wow.
Because
if you didn't know, you wouldn't know, would you?
Yeah, but I think Airfix thought they had the correct tooling, and they obviously got it. They got the wrong tooling from the Hello part.
Yeah, well, but really, which one should they have done then? Should they have gone back to the original, the actual prototype version?
That's if they still got the tool for that.
Well, I think they have. I think it's an insert because I'll tell you now. We looked at this, didn't we? On Chill.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
we did
last week.
So you can see. I know. Let's get bigger, and I'll get my magnifier out because the magnifier is pretty good for this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? We'll put the magnifier on. You can. I don't know whether this is just. This is all. Can you see? There's that line there. So you see that line?
Yeah. That's a grafting on the tool, the original tool, isn't it? So that they could.
So I reckon you could take the top off and put one in with the radar system on the back, the warning system on the back, and then if you look inside here, now this is all speculation. There's another one there on the nose.
Yeah.
So you tell me.
Yeah. That'll be the graph that Hella did on the original tool. So have they actually revamped the original tool, or was it
Yeah, because, well,
You
they
know what
must
I
have
mean?
been it must be an insert because I'm saying now, you actually look. Let me go off big screen. They released it in 1996. Then Airfix continued release as the variant A, and Airfix continued to release that till 2003.
Yeah.
Then you had 2 more releases in the Jaguar. So purely, they must have had. As I say, it's just speculation.
Well,
I'm
I think
assuming that there'll be an insert involved.
Heller must have had both of those fuselages on a tool somewhere.
They're not
because-
fuselages. No, John, listen to me. It's the nose and the tail.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
So they must have an insert for the nose and the tail. The whole fuselage is exactly the same.
Yeah.
That fuselage, that's all the same. Whichever one you have, even if I
but
get
that fuselage was supplied on a sprue originally, wasn't it?
No, it never was. Even on this one, even on this box here. So you look at these here. I'm not trying to get, all I'm saying is that look, them fuselages are absolutely
that's
same.
right, they're identical. That's right.
But if you look where the line is, there's a line on this one here, and there's a line on this one here. Not so predominant. Let me get the magnifier up again. You can see there's clearly a line. See that line there? That is where there's an insert. So you can do either noses or tail, and it's the same. You've got a line down here. That's what I'm trying to get at, John. Is that it's not different fuselages. It's the same.
No, I'm not saying.
fuselage.
Yeah, it's the same fuselage. But what I'm saying is they must have copied that tool to produce the front and rear ends for a French version.
No, because they
were releasing both.
There's an insert. There's an insert. So they take that insert out and put another one in for the different noses. That's what I'm assuming happened.
Yeah, but if you look at the nose cone on that French version,
yes,
the insert is totally different to the GR1's version.
Exactly. So they all it is a little thing like that they pull in and pull out of the tooling.
So when they were tooling both Jaguar kits, how did they tool both Jaguar kits simultaneously?
With that insert, how can I
take one bit out and pop another bit in?
Yeah.
So you're saying they put a completely separate ad?
Nose
and tail.
Nose and tail.
Yeah, nose and tail. Yeah, that's what I'm on about.
Yeah, but not the middle section. That's it. That's the whole thing. God, dear me, John, I need a whiskey already.
Have a whiskey, mate.
I just said, you see it? You see, there's a line.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see
that
it.
line there. So basically, that there is where they must put an insert on top. That's what I'm assuming anyway. I could be talking out my ass, but
right.
You see, the thing is, they did this type of thing with the GR1 to GR3 Harrier, but they actually retooled the fuselage tooling to produce the GR3 Harrier.
Yeah. It's a block out of the tool. That's what I'm assuming, and I'm getting a message here saying
it must be something they slot into the tool to produce the Jaguar.
Hallelujah! Congratulations, well done.
That's all I wanted to decide.
Let's give the man a medal.
Right.
Let's give the man a medal.
Because it's not something that Airfix used to do before.
Yeah.
They used to retool the tooling.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of inserts. You got to remember that the tool has been around, and they've always done it. All modern manufacturers do it. So, yeah. So
they retooled that tool to go from the prototype Jaguar to the GR1, didn't they?
Exactly, and they've done it again with the variant A. I don't think Heller would have produced a variant A if they had to redo a complete fuselage. He wouldn't have done it. But because it had already been cut out with a new nose, and like I said, you can see the line, but allegedly, but what I've been told, this is a standard practice. Airfix have done it many a time, whether they create a new part or they just add a little insert, top and bottom, to get things done. So, but like I said, they Airfix were doing it way before the Heller Humbrol thing. And I think that's, this is why people were asking back in the day whether they could have created an AEW Gannet by putting a new bit in to make the fuselage, but it's a completely different fuselage. We can't just whack the wings on, sort of thing. You'd have to redo the wings and everything. So doing a Gannet, and it was the Gannet, the AEW Gannet, wasn't it?
Yeah, the AEW Gannet.
Yeah,
Was the big,
you couldn't do that. You couldn't just change fuselages. It wouldn't work because you have to do the wings and everything. So, anyway, that's it for Airfix and Chill this week. We'll see you next week. But how did they allow it to happen? Did they not check the tooling first? I believe they did. I believe that you see, as somebody putting on my pink glasses, people don't realize that actually the Airfix team consists of 6 people.
Yeah.
3 designers, a couple of researchers, branding, there's the actual, that's a really small portion. The social media and all that is all different. Marketing, it's kind of a different team. But, but anything straight through with the, like this, if you didn't know about that, I think you would think, oh yeah, look at the sprues, they look fantastic. Let's run it. Not too much flash, the detail's still there, let's run with it. And these things happen. But I believe now there'll be things in play that would definitely help. And that's how it should be. Hi, it's easy to just chanced my arm and bought a vintage classic Jag from Amazon. Let's see what turns up. So yeah, they are available from Amazon apparently still, but I don't know how long that's going to be on for. So yeah. Watched the Gary Stuff video this morning. Now the pylon kit has been released for the 172nd Convert. I'm not convinced by that because all you have to do is slip right down the one line, slip down the other line, and it all joins together. It's not a difficult thing to do. I don't know why they've done a pylon kit. I think it's just, I don't know how many Vulcans have got that pylon kit, but it's been sent away to be retooled anyway, so they won't happen again. So, unless you want more of a resin style pylon, then that's all right. Anyways, let's move on from that. Anyway, the Jaguar, if you've got money in your bank, any questions, put them in the chat, please. How are you, Jim? Everything well with you?
Here's a little tidbit of information that just blew my socks away today that might not be of any interest to anybody but me, but what the hey. Messing around on Facebook, you get the pictures will pop up, read your logarithms or whatever. Yeah. And I got this thing for Colorado military aviation photography or whatever. Had a bunch of BFA 103 Super Hornets in it. Okay, I'm a fan for the Jolly Rogers, the skull and the crossbones, like everybody. And I'm looking at the pictures, right click save, because they're really nice, high quality photos. I can use the weathering patterns, stuff like that. And then I noticed something different on one of the tails. Okay, dark gray tail, lighter gray skull and crossbones. Yeah. Except this one had a patch over one of the eyes. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I started looking. Then I noticed one thing about that squadron in particular. They're unique in that they use both single seat and dual seat Super Hornets. It's kind of unusual to have one squadron that operates both variants. So then I'm looking and I just saw then I look back at some of the other jets, and some of the other jets didn't have the skull with the patch over the eye. And I'm thinking, well, maybe it's just that one jet. Okay, so I'm messaging a couple of my friends. Yeah. And that do decals, and hey, here's something for you to consider. And I thought it was only that one jet. Well, then I went back and looked at the pictures and go to find out. And I just thought this was just cool. And maybe it's just me, I'm being weird. All the single seaters are the ones with the patch on the eye. One eye, one seat, 2 seat that has the regular logo.
Right.
And I thought
that's fantastic.
I thought that was just cool. Just a little model nerd thing, but I'm like, dang. Yeah, 1 seat versus 2 seat, and it just, and I might be sort of the party. I mean, maybe this is common knowledge for everybody. I'm just now getting it. But yeah, I saw that today and I'm like, that was just very cool for me.
Fair play.
That's what's going on in my world besides it being my 61st birthday. So
I know. I was going to say happy birthday to you, Jim. You know, it's so. Are you are actually retired though, aren't you?
Oh yeah. I've been retired since 2019.
Wow.
Oh, I gave up work this year.
Yeah, I saved my pennies and managed.
Yeah, ditto.
That's the way.
If you can do it, man, do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Time.
Yeah. Fair play. Remember, put any questions in the comments because tonight is questions and answers. So if you've got anything you want to ask us in the chat about scale modeling, particular kits, anything, put it in the chat because I said we haven't really got much to really go on this week. I will say that if anybody's seen Armour Hobby, I have put a link up in the wall on YouTube wall. And also on Facebook, the Armour Hobby have released pictures of their latest Hurricane with the steel wings, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Let me get it up here if I can.
Steel? Don't you mean aluminium?
Well, they call it metal wing, I should say, not steel wing, metal wing. Yeah, metal wing. I don't know why I said steel. Which it actually does look proper stunning. Am I right that the 148 Hurricane with the one that Airfix is the most accurate one out there so far, isn't it? Or is it the 1/72nd scale was the most accurate from Airfix?
I couldn't speak to that particularly, but I could say that the original Hurricanes being covered in Irish linen as they were, actually you could fill them full of a lot of holes, including cannons firing through them. But because the material was so thin and weak, a shell would go right through it. And if it was an explosive one, it wouldn't explode. So it would just basically go through and then shove off out the other side, and away you go. The advent of heavier built aircraft, from frameworks of aluminium and dural sheet and so on, meant that cannon shells would detonate, and that was something of a disadvantage. But since I'm not going to fire shells through my 172 scale or 148 scale Hurricane, even if it has got a metal wing, I think that's fine. But that's just an interesting fact.
Yeah.
I'll get my
This is the first test shot of that Hurricane, and I'll tell you what, the detail on it looks absolutely sublime. I think I kind of thought that at first look, I'm thinking, have they overdone it a little bit? But you know what I mean? There's a hell of a lot of detail there.
This is probably a classic quandary. Did they overdo it? Well, maybe they did, but you kind of have to overdo it to be able to see it, especially when you put paint over it. If you were to do it to scale and paint it, it probably would all disappear. So I'd cut a manufacturer some slack for doing
the question I would tend to ask is, are the rivet holes, are the rivets actually puttied and therefore not visible? So is that entirely accurate? I don't know what the case was with Hawker and the Hurricanes. Obviously we know that the Spitfires had the wing rivets puttied so that it presented a smoother profile to the air. So I mean that would be the question I would ask there. But I mean it looks nice. I mean, no question about they've gone into a lot of detail on that, and they've gone into a lot of right down to, you can see the ailerons are fabric covered, and then you've got the metal wings. So great, excellent there.
Well, it's like the big scale Tamiya P-51. Beautiful engraving on their wings. Well, yeah, but they were puttied. Most of them coming out of the factory were puttied. So what do you do? So
I say, because say putty, because in theory the putty, it did come off in the end, didn't it? Like over time.
It would have done it, and they weren't looked after to any meaningful degree in that sense, were they? So
Oh, it's a nice little. I think it's going to be a release to look out for anyway.
Not my scale.
What scale are you, Barry?
1/72.
I'll get that.
Nothing bigger will fit on my shelves.
Fair enough.
So it has to be 1/72.
Yeah. Fair play. Question for John Alec here. How's the Mastiff going up the cherries? Oh, he's gone.
He's come back.
Yeah.
I just got back. So
Yeah.
no, it's going. It's all buttoned up. I just need to start to add stuff to the exteriors, and I think the cherries are in like 5th place or something.
Oh, dear.
4th place. Yeah, it's crazy.
Cool.
It's crazy. Yeah. Anyways, it's
Yeah.
going well. Thank you. Yeah, the Mastiff is good.
Question: is anyone getting the new Italeri GR1 in 1/32 scale? Now, interestingly, 1/32, I've got a few 1/32 scales in my collection now, like the Messerschmitt and stuff. But there does seem to be a real draw to a 1/32 scale all of a sudden. Is it just me, or has it always been the draw? With everything that's coming out, 1/32 never hit my radar until the Qatari 1/32 Spitfire came out.
I can only assume that Rob means the Harrier GR1 in 132.
Yeah.
But I mean, to answer the question on 132, that's been the scale that I've built for preference since I came back to doing this sort of thing about 3 or 4 years ago. Although I seem to be doing a lot more 148s now, but we're not talking about that. So
yeah.
I will say this. I think 32nd was dead for a while. But I think when Trumpeter popped up years ago, I think that, my recollection, which again could be wrong, to me though, that's when 32nd really started taking off again, because they started doing a whole lot of 32nd scale subjects. And then other manufacturers came in, and then they started, and then Tamiya popped in, and they started doing some, and so I think it's just been a slow progression over time. But yeah, 70s, 80s, even 90s, early 2000s, it was pretty much dead until along start popping them.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, what was there before Trumpeter and 32nd? Just those pretty awful Revell kits.
Rebels. Yeah.
They were pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It seems to be the one, though, isn't it? The 130 people are looking at, because what is the one thing that Nigel always asks FX? When you're going to do a 1/32 scale and then insert model here, like, you know what I mean? But I think they're quite, they do enough scales as it is. They're covering a lot of and those who do 1/32 don't do 1/24. And I think Airfix are going to look into the 1/24 market a bit more. Watch your space. All I'm going to say, 1/24. It's not a dead duck to Airfix. I think they're going to do more of that kind of stuff. Most definitely.
Please, no more Spitfires.
A 1/24 Bearcat.
Yes.
Hey, everybody, take a shot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, Jim, would you build a 24 scale Tomcat?
Depends on who did it.
Well, you won't get one in America because Airfix aren't shipping there, are they?
Yeah.
No,
if Trumpeter were to do it, no.
Yeah.
Well, there's some toy company did an 18th scale one. It's like ginormous, and it's like it's too.
I've seen a 48 scale Vulcan. That was huge.
Yeah.
Was it that dude? Wasn't that HPH did that?
Aero Club did it.
Oh.
Aero Club, that's it. Aero Club. It's this resin as well, isn't it? Or fiberglass.
It was part injection molded, part vacuum.
Yeah.
But it was impressive.
See, that's a scale that Airfix needs to go back to. It's the 1/44 scale. Give us some commercial airlines and things like that, Airfix. That's what we want. In fact, I was only saying to my friend at Airfix, this one here, the BAC 111. Yeah. Vintage classic, or retool it. I put it together just with some tape. And actually, it goes together just doing a bit of tape. Absolutely lovely. There's hardly any gaps there or anything. It goes together quite nicely.
It was one of their better airliner kits.
Yeah,
Really was.
Definitely. So I think Airfix should re-release that one. I'll even send it up to them so that if they do find the tooling for it, they can then match it to this one, so they won't make that
It's
error
a shame.
again.
It's a shame they can't retool the 707 because there's loads of scope. They could sell that kit in loads of different guiders, couldn't they?
But hasn't it been done to death by Revell Academy and Zvezda? Don't they? Haven't they all done those 707s and 737s and whatnot?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So, Wendy's got a brilliant question here. I think this is going to be on the money, this one. Question. Hiya, Wendy, by the way. Lovely to see you again. I'm feeling miffed as I bought a Hella GMC CCKW 352 in 1/72 scale because of all the cool stowage pictured on the artwork, only to find it isn't included in the kit. Should the artwork be allowed to do that? Well, firstly, I've never bought a McDonald's Big Mac like the picture has above the station.
Like that,
yeah, it's never that perfect. It's flattened.
But still,
yeah.
If it shows like stowage and doesn't explicitly state, figures not included. Stowage,
if you look somewhere on that box.
Hang on, John. Let John Alec finish, then speak.
Yeah.
Go on, John. Say what you're saying.
Oh, just if it doesn't say it on the box, then it's wrong.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'll hide it, right? So it'll be what we call the fine print.
Yes.
That's what I think John was gonna.
That's exactly what I was going to mention. There'll be somewhere on that box where it will say figures not included or may alter from the artwork or something like that, because they always get them around themselves somehow.
It's a bit deceptive. Yeah.
That's the kit.
That's the kit, is it?
Yeah, that's the offending beast.
Wow.
Okay. Didn't Airfix use the same artwork?
Yes.
They did.
Yeah, because Airfix boxed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very good shout, that.
They also boxed the Jeep and trailer, didn't they?
Yeah.
I would say anything short of, if it's box art, buyer beware. If it's pictures on the box of the actual kit, to test two different things. Some manufacturers do that. Some do just do box art, and they tell an artist, hey, go draw me such and such, and they do it, and then they do their research and they find all this other stuff on, and then they draw it and paint it and they submit it, and now it's too late to make any changes.
That's right.
But yeah, the manufacturer could think ahead maybe to try and say, oh yeah, box contents aren't exactly depicted by the box art or whatever, but I don't know.
There are lots of kits out there from loads and loads of different manufacturers where the artwork
that's it.
what you get in the box. That's definitely the Airfix release.
Yeah. But like I said, if you've got that ring at the front there, you've got all those jerry cans on it, and you've got the bags at the side. I think Wendy's got a point here, that is, but then again, if you go back through the history of it, right the way back from, so it's only a 20-year tooling, a 20-year-old tooling, really. Yeah. So 2004, it's a new tooling. Then Airfix got their mitts on it when it was under Borden, or was it the other one?
Borden. It was Borden Moss. Yeah.
Or Gower, whatever it was called. They boxed it twice, and then all of a sudden, it was shown in 2015. You look at the box art 2015; it's the same box art. Yeah. This one here, this one here came with figures as well. On this one, 2 model figures, 14 model figures. The US infantry figures, and then you got a quiet. Then it was reboxed again. This says it all. This does, John. Reboxed by Mr. Craft. So,
Mr. Craft.
So the tooling's food barred anyway, because as soon as if Mr. Craft's had it, then there's chuck it in the bin, Wendy. Chuck it in the bin.
She says,
Mr. Craft. But then I bet Mr. Craft ones, I bet they're only a £5. If you could buy that for a £5, yeah. 11 quid. 11 quid from Hobby Zone. 15 quid if you're in Germany, and if you're in Ireland, Exacto, whatever it is, are out of stock. We get it in France there for €11 on that one. But yeah, so in the Mr. Craft version, let's have a look at this one. So how much is it here? £8.81 says it all, that, doesn't it? So it's even cheaper.
If you get it from Timo, it'll be 99 pence.
99p, yeah. Because there's no VAT on it either. And I don't know, I need to share this now. Anybody, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, do not buy from 1001 Hobbies.
No.
They are scam artists. I don't even know why Scalemates even grace their presence on their boards. You will not get what you want. They sell it to, they make it sound like they're an English company.
Yeah.
They're a French company.
Yeah.
And they sell you crap. I ordered a load of Tamiya panel line accent liquids, and they sent me all Humbrol ones. And then they asked me to send them back to them, which was going to cost me 15 quid, and I never got my money back. So yeah, do not trust them whatsoever.
And they take.
But yeah, I think that if it shows stowage on the box art, then it should at least warn you that all you're getting is a model kit on the side. You've got to have artistic license on box art, but it should say somewhere on the kit that it doesn't come with any stowage. But that's why people love a bit of Tamiya, don't they?
Yeah.
It comes with the stowage, doesn't it? So
it's a bit cheeky.
It is cheeky, isn't it?
It is cheeky, yeah, you're right. But,
Hobby Times built that 148 Vulcan multimedia kit.
Yeah.
Ian's
it looked
right.
really impressive. I saw it at a show once. It looked really impressive.
Yeah. Ian Chambers on Facebook saying the Matchbox de Havilland 132nd Sea Venom was a very good kit. I think Revell have reboxed that as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
They have.
The Spitfire, the Spitfire kit too.
Yeah. Sorry, Brian, what was that?
Yeah, anything by Revell and 176 is the old Matchbox tools.
Yeah.
Mostly armour.
But 132nd though, Revell is Matchbox as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although not all of it. A lot of it is old tool Revell stuff, but the stuff that Matchbox produced was it's basic, but it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
The Dauntless is lovely.
Yeah. Let's remove that now. Comment: Mike Crimea are releasing some of the airliner kits as Overtrees. Yes, I saw that. $15. If you go on their website, which is I think it's AMP-Ukraine or something, isn't it? Their website, and they do that. Yeah. CCC, did you hear about the 32nd Spitfire Mark 9 from Edard?
I think they're doing Mark 9. They're doing a 190 D9 and one other release that I can't.
Weren't they doing a P51?
Yeah, but this is under their new marketing strategy they're doing, where you get the kit plastic and then all the cockpit detail and whatever else is 3D printed, like their new Avia S1999. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I wonder what the plastic is. I don't suppose it's their plastic, is it?
Yeah, it's their kit. Oh, I believe it's their kit. But it's not like where they take somebody else's kit and throw in their aftermarket.
Okay.
I do believe this is, and I could be wrong, but I'm thinking this is a new tooled plastic with their, when they say hybrid kit, that leads me to believe it's their tooling and their 3D printing. It's not just another manufacturer with their print in it. But again, could be wrong. I don't know for sure.
There you go, Zinzan. That's your next kit, isn't it?
That's your next kit, then.
Yeah, it might very well be amongst all the others, but there we are. Yes, it's worth looking at, certainly.
Yeah.
I can count the rivets, can't I?
Yeah.
Give me a 144 E3D Sentry. I know Ben. Where are you tonight anyway, Ben? Are you at home? Are you eating your cheese on toast? Not coming on here. Graham Hutton. Hi, Graham. Nice to see you, my friend. Currently doing the Airfix Lockheed Hudson 172nd Vintage Classic. The fit is utterly appalling.
Yeah.
It's the worst vintage classic I've done yet for fit and quality.
Sounds like
Quality,
fun.
I think the plastic's very good. Bit wise, yeah, you're going to be scraping a little bit and a little bit of fettling.
And a top of ice upon.
Yeah. But I've seen model shows and people have built this to a pretty good standard. But I've always said at the time, you know, you pays your money. What is this one on Airfix site? It's about 15 quid, isn't it? It's not expensive, this Hudson. I
Well,
don't
the
think
decal's cartograph.
yeah, decals
Yeah,
are
a
car
little bit.
Well, there's your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think the original kit only had one scheme, though, didn't it?
it did. This one comes with two, does no? It comes with one scheme. It comes with the County Antrim, Northern Ireland, 1941. You'll find that the dome on the back is a bit of a bugger to put on. I will
Yeah.
give you that much. But
I
other
mean,
than
the
that,
rear turret.
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, the dome. The rear turret. Well, I'm trying to lighten up a little bit, like, you know, rear turret. I
Normally
think
Got
I-
that bit of it left on.
yeah, you know, to be fair, this one has been released many times. It's a 1964 kit,
Yeah.
and it has been released numerous occasions. So, you know, as I said, you pay your money, you take your chances on these things.
I've always said, though, that if you buy the vintage classic kit to get the decals, buy an older kit that has fresher tools, you'll get a better result.
Yeah.
I
well,
said for the Avenger.
See, 14 quid, 15 quid. You know, and I don't get me wrong, it's not easy. They're not easy. But at the end of the day, you know, sometimes you need a challenge. Like I said, you know, in my video about the changes that Airfix made with Vintage Classic, why they never retooled that glass. And I'll say it again, you know, if Dale's watching, Airfix is watching, I'll say it to you till I'm blue in the face. That Belvedere 197, that glass never fitted when it was done back in the 50s or 60s.
Oh,
And
God,
you
I've got
can
one in the
retool
stash.
them.
It was
You can
dreadful.
retool it, you know. So, the RAAF used the BAC 111 for VIP transport in 3-4. Yeah,
Yeah, they
it's
did.
you know, it's a cracking little kit. That I'd love to see Airfix re-release that one. I really would. So, you know, it won't be next year. Actual model may differ from depiction or something like that. Yeah, I was talking about that GCK. Yeah. Don't Trumpeter do a 124th P40? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do. Along with a number of other kits in their range as well.
exactly.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they do a 0 as well.
Yeah.
and the Stuka.
Don't they do a Wildcat too, the 24th?
You got to be careful they're not overscale, because that their Trumpeter 124th Stuka was, I think it was 15. Was it 15%? It was at least 15% overscale. Too big.
God.
The box says pictures are not binding, clear as mud. That's what it says on that. That's so French, isn't it? That is so French. Question: why don't Airfix do more warships of 1/600 or bigger? Revell do the same with Tamiya. If Revell and Tamiya are doing it, why are you asking Airfix to do it? That's one of the questions I keep saying. If I understand you go into Airfix and saying, why don't you do a Bearcat? Now, when I say it to Airfix, it's because no one does a proper Bearcat, really.
No.
Hobby Boss do a 1/72nd scale, but a decent 1/48 Bearcat, they are hard to find. Trumpeter do one in 1/32nd, which looks okay. But if I'm going to Airfix and saying, why don't you do this? I just think of a kit now. This tank. Say, why don't you bring out a 1/48 Tiger 1 tank? This or 1/35 Tiger 1 tank. You've got rafts of them out there. Why would Airfix bother with that?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you got to look at it.
You want something that nobody else does.
Exactly.
Yeah, like a Valentine or something, or a Matilda 1.
Matilda 1.
Or something that fits in their range.
Yeah.
You know, if it fits in their range, they're more likely to do it, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think Airfix will bring it. If Airfix bring out a Matilda 1, it would be at a price point and a skill level that people would appreciate. If you want something majorly complex, you would do that Gecko kit and cry and weep and rock yourself to sleep at night building it.
You sit in the corner scratching yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
hard.
you'll probably have more of a chance of Airfix producing a 35th scale Antar tank transporter than you will have something else.
Oh, there's
that would fit in with their Cold War range, wouldn't it? I mean, they had many a Centurion on the back.
Yeah.
But they did a polyprop Antar.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah. So 135th would be nice. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Who was it? So it's high time that Airfix retired their 2009 Messerschmitt BF 109 G6 mode. It's terrible, and they keep rolling it out. They retooled it back in 2012, didn't they? That Messerschmitt.
No, they retooled it. No, that was a different kit.
Is it?
He's talking about the F variant, the Frederick variant, which was the Ghost Staff variant, which was designed to retool to replace the old tool from the 1950s. But I did a comparison build on my channel with those two, and people found
that's the old one.
That's the old one. Well, people found it really hard to tell the difference between the new tool and the old tool.
I've got a picture somewhere of the old and the new tool together because I painted them the same.
Yeah.
And what gives it away, the blades on the new tool are thicker.
Yeah.
And there's like panel lines on the drop tank.
Yeah.
And those are the two major differences.
But I had the two kits on a video, on like a final reveal video on my channel, and people were commenting and they got the wrong kit for the retool. They just couldn't tell the difference between the two models. Now, I think if you're going to produce a retool kit of an old tooling, it should at least be bare.
Yeah. So this is it. It's in the timeline. So that G6 was 22009.
Yeah,
they've only actually released it 3 times. So I don't know where you're getting it being done to death. They've only released it 3 times.
No, but if you look at the old G6, I don't know if the old G6 came out in the 50s, and I think they must have released that pretty much every other year.
Yeah, but in 2009 they would have retired that one anyway. But they did one in 2009. Then they did the E variant, which is 2012, which they've done a lot of.
Which is a new tool, isn't it? Completely new tool.
New box this year. Yeah. And then they've re-released it as a starter set, haven't they?
Yeah. And then they did the Freddy last year, didn't they?
Which is brilliant. It's a really good tooling.
Yeah.
So I don't know where you're getting that from, mate, that they've done it 3 or 4 times. So yeah, it's yeah. Oh, Wendy only paid a £5 for that kit, by the way, which is quite cute. £5, and your motor's got no stowage. Yeah.
Be 15 quid to get the stowage from 3D Gizmo.
Yeah. Neil Micklethwaite, I bought 1001 Voyager. The Hasegat A7 turned up as promised in 3 weeks. Mate, you're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
I know somebody it's taken 6 weeks for bits. What I'm trying to get at is that they claim that they're in English. You go on the website, it's .co.uk, you know, and when they get it wrong, they expect you to send the thing back to get a refund. In the end, luckily, I was with PayPal. I emailed PayPal and said, look at these shower shite. Look what they've done to me. And they give me my money back. And the other guys, there was a big thing about it on Facebook last year about them. Yeah, I wouldn't even entertain having them on the site, mate. They're a dreadful company. Airfix have a perfectly good BF109F CAD file which could be used as the basis for a quality G series. Yes. Question. I recently bought the old 1997 MAZ 543 with Scud rocket in 1/35 scale. Now I noticed that scale only Dragon and Trumpy made a kit in 1/35th. Why? Because the news was full of it in the 90s. That's true. That's
Yeah.
that. You know, it's one of them. You know, if that's the way. Yeah, if there's something that is worth tooling, they'll do it. It's got to.
Yeah.
Listen, when the Ukrainian war started, who jumped on the bandwagon putting Ukrainian flags on all their kits? How many did? Even the Ghost of Kiev. How many people did a version of the Ghost of Kiev? And it was bollocks in the end. It was all propaganda. There was no such thing as the Ghost of Kiev. But I bet it sold a few kits, didn't it? You know, so but we've kind of, I don't think a lot of companies do actually release a new tooling of stuff that's modern era in war. This side of the pond, anyway. I can't have Revell don't, do they? They don't do anything modern conflict. Airfix don't. Hella don't. Well, Hella's doing trailers at the moment. I did my review this week of all the new tools that have been announced last month, and Hella's releasing another trailer, so they know where their market is.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, because that trailer could be fitted to that Ferguson TE20 truck design.
I think Airfix learned a lesson when they released the Herrick stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, because I ended up in the House of the Parliament, wasn't it? You know,
Yeah.
things like that. Well,
I mean,
it was done before its time as well, wasn't it? You know, so if they released that now, it would sell. I swear it
yeah,
would.
it would. Well, they've released the Lynx. The Lynx is coming out. Isn't it?
Yeah, but the Lynx wasn't originally in the Herrick range.
No.
That's the difference.
It was
Everything
in a
else
goose set, wasn't
was. Yeah. It was released the year before the Herrick range was announced. You look at the box art. But everything else is money. It's money now. So
I think Airfix are a bit tentative to deal with anything that's on an ongoing war
yeah,
because of that.
yeah. As I said, it's one of them, isn't it? It's definitely. Oh, my good friends turned up. Hello, Brian from In Search of. I did do a live stream with the diecast in the scale model community last night. If you want to go along and watch it, I'll put a link in the comments when I get round to it. Okay, so you could go and watch that if you so wish. I think it's there actually. If I click that one now, I'll put a link in. If you want to go and watch that, it's mainly diecast, but we do talk about scale modeling, etc. But it's a great little live stream that we've kind of started doing on a Sunday night. If you want to go and watch that. At least it was cheaper than the Revell Technics edition Mark 9 crumbs. Yeah, they weren't cheap. Long day at work to us and still got the COVID. No taste or sense of smell now. No such thing as COVID. I'm joking. All right, I'm joking. I'm joking before anybody comes back. And Ben will probably be eating a good old-fashioned cheesy hammy and eggy. Yeah, I get that.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Paul's asked, do Airfix make a kit of a B29 Super Fortress in 1/72nd scale? Academy
Yes.
do, and it's a lovely kit. I'm currently building the Academy one. Go on, Barry. They do, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It's an old kit, and it's probably worn when I built it back in the 70s.
Yeah.
It's not an easy kit to build, though, is it?
Yeah.
No, not really. It's get the fuselage together.
Yeah, there must be 25 sub-assemblies you've got to play around with to make the fuselage.
Yeah, the bomb bay with all the bombs in it, and the tube that goes along the spine, the two bulkheads, and the remote control guns.
Yeah,
everything. It makes putting the fuselage together awkward. And that's it. I built this in the 1970s, and it was awkward then.
Good luck trying to get it to sit on its nose wheel.
Yeah.
I've got several models lined up, tricycle undercarriages, and the amount of lead I've got to put in the noses.
The B29.
So I've had to raid a few church roofs.
I built B29, the Airfix kit, and I'd leaded the underside of the cockpit, and it still sat on its tail. So I just put the boarding ladder on.
Yeah, well, I've got the Lightning, this one, and I've had to put lead inside the engines and the nose.
Yes.
That's another tail sitter, that one.
Yeah. But it sits on his tricycle very nicely.
Does it?
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, moving on.
I'm just going to... Right, so if you have got your diaries ready, I promised, I've been getting sent emails about model shows. So what I've done is, up until the end of 2025, I've just put a little video together of all the model shows. So, and it gives a bit of an interlude as well. It's only a minute and a half, minute 30 seconds, just going through all the model shows that I've received this week, up until the end of the year. So get your diaries out, and if there's anything close, go and visit them. Well, there you go. If there's any there that take your fancy, please put them in your diary. I will be attending 3 of them. One is the Yeovil Model Show. One will be Telford. Obviously, I'm there all weekend and on the Friday as well. And I will be at Bugle Call in November. But any scale model clubs, if you've got a show, please email me. It's in my about section of your poster. And what I'll do is every week I will update that video, and then we'll put them on about 3 or 4 months in advance, if you know what I mean. Gives people a chance. But I want to make that a regular feature because I really feel that model shows are very important to the community at large. Okay, and obviously it's all UK based, so I don't know about abroad, but we're a UK channel and we're based in the UK, so we'll do that.
If anybody wants to come to our local show on November 1st, you're more than welcome.
Oh, definitely, mate. Yeah. Jim would even put a bed out for you. Plenty of room in the shed. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Beneath Ben, I would love Airfix to do modern late Cold War military kits, especially ships, as this would be really unique for Airfix.
Yeah. We've heard it all before, Ben.
Yeah. But why Airfix, though, Ben? Why do you think Airfix should do that? What about? Have you just? I'm not being. What's the word here? Facetious. Have you not contacted the likes of Revell or Miniart, or people like that? Tamiya. Monogram.
Why? So here's the thing, and it goes back to what I've said before about Airfix, and I think Ben may, not to put words in his mouth, may or may not agree with me here. Why? Again, Airfix is a British company, and I think it's a gold mine for them. They could be doing British ships.
Yes.
They could be doing British armor. They could be doing British aircraft, because you guys have put out a ton of all of it. The thing is your market big enough to sustain that for Airfix? And if Airfix needs to sell more worldwide, then they're probably not going to be putting out esoteric 350 scale British modern warships, because that's not going to be a big seller across the globe. It may be a fairly big seller in Britain, but I think that's probably why Airfix doesn't do more ships. And it's probably a significant tooling cost, because ships aren't exactly small, and especially in the bigger scales, the 350th, and such. So it's like you want your QE2, your modern carrier, but good luck with any company doing that.
Yeah. I would I take it for my word in, okay? I think Airfix, particularly Dale, is pretty open when you ask him certain questions. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? For instance, the last time they did anything proper military, apart from that Type 45 destroyer, was the submarines. The
Trafalgar class.
Trafalgar class.
They flopped, didn't they?
They flopped. They
Yeah.
absolutely flopped. And I think when we talk about like the Operation Herrick, it was before its time.
Yeah.
You know, I think if they released the Operation Herrick now, a lot of those who were involved in that war have now left the forces.
Yeah.
Who would be more inclined to build that sort of stuff. And also, you haven't got the lasers of the government saying, should you be producing this sort of,
No.
like I said, they've still got stock of dioramas that they released around that time that have never sold. In fact, I've got about 12 of them up in my loft that I got for £5 or £6 a time, but they just never sold. They're really good, well-made dioramas.
Yeah.
But they've never done it since because it flops.
I mean,
for
Airfix to commit the time and energy and most importantly finances to tool a big 350 scale modern British ship, they're going to have to know that it's going to sell and sell well to be able to worth their time to do it and at least get their investment back on it. They probably don't have those numbers.
I don't know whether Ben was talking about 350 scale. If he could comment again, I think he might have been mentioning 600 scale.
Okay, yeah,
it's a lot cheaper, wouldn't it? But
yeah,
again,
esoteric subject.
I mean, Frog and Novo released quite a lot of those 60s frigates and destroyers on 500 scale, and I haven't seen Ark re-releasing them now.
Yeah,
and to Harry's comment there, I mean, they're Trumpeter. They've done a few. I've got one.
Jim's hit the nail on the head. I checked IPMS UK has around 5,000 members. That means at least every member needs to buy one in order to fill a run. But UK only subject, do the maths. Yeah. But then, it's so difficult. It is so difficult. I'm reading a lot online that Airfix can't get into America at the moment because there's a 50% tariff on products made in India. And nobody wants to pay that 50% tariff to get it over. I think what Airfix should do is bring the plastic over, rebox it in this country, add one tiny pot of paint that's made in the UK, and then ship that kit across to America, claiming on the box it's made in the UK, because in theory it is, because it's got that one little pot of UK made paint.
It's a shame.
That's what I think they should do.
Or even
it's a shame they can't have a
UK.
packaging unit somewhere in the US and then have it called Made in USA.
Well, that is not to get political and go down that hairy road, but in a way, that is kind of the aim behind a lot of this. I was talking with 3D Shoot. They're a 3D printer, solo operation out of Taiwan. And he has some stuff, and he said it's forced him into looking into opening a U.S. warehouse.
Yeah.
So I think that's, I don't know, maybe the goal.
They have got Hornby's Hobbies USA, so
Yeah, they could box.
Used to have Airfix USA as well.
Yeah, you would think that would be the automatic in right there.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be Airfix USA. It's Hornby Hobbies now, isn't it? So
well, like I say, we used to have Airfix USA boxings. It's on the box.
Yeah, but that was with MPC, though, wasn't it?
No, it was US Airfix.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
MPC was a different organisation. Before that, you had two other companies as well, which were linked to the US, weren't there?
Yeah.
I think who they were. 2 seconds.
Yeah. Come in, mother. Ben's saying here they did also the Invincible class in 1/350th. The same nostalgia would apply to the Navy as well as the Herrick era. Exactly. There is a lot of that to do. If Airfix did a type, doesn't Trumpeter do a Type 26? Who does a Revell? No, who does a Type 26? Somebody do a Type 26, don't they? I'm sure they did. Let me have a look. Type 26 kits. What scale would it be? 1/700 scale, would it? No. Ignore me. Oh, no. No, they haven't. Okay. Fair enough. I thought somebody did. Let's look at the kits again. Hang on. Static model kits. No, they didn't. I apologize. No, it's my bad. I ignore that. It's the new one. I'm thinking of something else. 23. The 23. The Type 23. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I got my numbers mixed up. Hang on, let's have a look. Frigates. Trumpeter. That's it. HMS Monmouth. That's the one. Yeah. Ignore me. I'm talking shit.
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
I know. No one has done a Type 26 in 1/350th. It's a new in service design, but being multinational, you can sell it to both Europe and Australia. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. They don't know, Gary, and they won't, because even when they bring out, there is that adage, they have to look at previous sales on stuff, because that's why I get upset when people say, oh, the Concorde doesn't sell very well. Well, that's because every Tom, Dick, Harry,
And his
Uncle,
dog.
Auntie has built that Airfix 1/4/4 scale Concorde, because all the other ones are shockingly shite. And you don't even touch the Hella 1/72 scale one, or is it Hella or Revell? It was honestly, I nearly cried and was in a corner in tears with baby at one point with that one as well. So, yeah, could do, I suppose, do a type, but they won't do it, And wooden model ships. If you want to build a proper wooden model ship, you would build a proper wooden, made out of wood one for authenticity.
And take it to IP MS and enter it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get
and guess what? And get best in show.
Oh.
We love the IPMS. If Airfix did a Type 20s, yeah, I get that. Yeah, I do get that. It does make sense. But people want the Queen Elizabeth and the Prince of Wales, don't they? But I don't think they'll get one out of Airfix. Business-wise, it's just not really possible. Research time to do ships compared to any other subject is wild. Yeah, I get that. But also, on that flip side, the research that goes into some of the World War II planes is highly in-depth, because sometimes there isn't that plane available to scan in its original form, like we were talking about with the Halifax. Really, to do that Halifax any justice, you would try and get some of the original drawings. Oh, that's a good shout. The Type 26, the 3 countries that are building them are all slightly different. Australia being the most modified. I believe any manufacturer would cater for 3 types, essentially. So what do you say to that, Ben?
Who are the 3 countries? So you guys, Australia, and who else?
Germany. Is it Germany?
Well, see, now you may have a market there because you have, 3 countries, and maybe that's 3 is more than 1. So that's 3 areas of interest that you may be able to do something with.
Canada, apparently Canada, actually, maybe Canada. Yeah,
Sorry.
but they picked a small hull not suited to their fit. Okay. UK, Australia, and Norway, I would argue one base tooling and 3 kit releases. The F-35s was shit.
Yeah.
He's got a shout there. I'll give him that.
Yep.
Especially when you could put like inserts into the tooling.
You did there.
Yeah. I just put that one in there for you, Joffy. I think I put that one in there for you, Joffy. All right. Just put little inserts in and you can do whatever you want with it. Needs 2 different hull types. Canada is going for the longer hull form. Well, that's right, because what you could do is you could do a middle section and then have inserts for a longer and a shorter hull. I'm just taking the piss here. It's terrible, really, isn't it?
Trumpeter did the long hold and the short hold Essex class.
Yeah.
World War II. So
yeah, I get that. Also interest from New Zealand, Malaysia, and Turkey. If you're going to do a longer hull, do an insert. Yeah, I've already said that, mate. Yeah.
But he probably typed that before you even said it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, very, very much so. And the Type 26 is the city class. Yeah, I understand that. It is a city class. But as I said, personally, I don't build ships.
When
I go to model shows, I'm going to put this out there. When I go to model shows, 65% of what's on the desks there is aircraft. Or aircraft and armor, say. Shoot me down now if I'm wrong. How many tanks do you see? How many planes do you see?
Quite a bit of cars too.
Yeah, is that the same for you over there?
Yeah, and even at Telford when I was there last year, I noticed there were quite a few car SIGs and such. And then when I went back over into the competition room, I probably saw, save for Ben's SIG, there's probably more ships over in the contest room. But I tell you what, at our national, this year at our national, there was one gentleman, Bill, and he's a retired airline pilot, and he did 3 monster. I mean, these were probably even bigger than RC. They had to be 1/4 scale. I mean, just ginormous. He did 3 of them, and one of them was like I think the SS United States, and then a couple others, and just holy cow, they weren't plastic, Moz, and so, but we had totally scratch built, and they just beautiful models, and over here, because our show bounces around all over the country, certain areas of the country have your turnout is bigger in certain subjects. So back east on the East Coast, you get more ships. In general, Chattanooga in 2019, we had a lot of ship models. This year, there was a lot of ships. Well, hell, you're in Norfolk. It's the East Coast Navy base. Aircraft is always big. Armor is always big. But then all the others will ebb and flow to where it's held.
When I see that comment, this is brilliant, Alex, and I kind of agree. Airfix should bring out a 90s Max Power magazine edition of the collection of Ford Escorts, Vauxhalls, and Renaults, etc., with the wide boy kits and the Max Power models included. That will grab a market. Yeah, as long as you could have a tinted out back window with Kenwood sticker along the top, that would work absolutely brilliant. I really would. Saying that about cars, have you seen this month that Jadlam's got their group builds available? So their group build, which is this one here, is called On the Road. And basically, they have 4 starter sets in the mix. They've got the Aston Martin DB5, the Land Rover Series 1 pickup, the Lamborghini Huracan Evo 143, and the Bugatti Chiron in 143. So you've got 4 kits there, all for a tenner a pop, and that's included free postage as well. Winners get prizes. I think there was 5 winners last year. But you get points if you log in. You get points. And to be fair, this was incredible because there was 279 entrants last year. There was 15,500 votes cast, and there was 3,100 voters, and they sold 1,500 of those Spitfires. That's incredible. I built mine as a Red Bull one, but yeah. So if you want to get part of that, go along. What's the click started? What does it say when it says click started? So you buy your kit. There's up to 50% off. So whichever one you want. I think there's missing one here. Maybe the Land Rover's out of stock. Maybe they're getting some more in at the minute. But that Bugatti Chiron, that scheme is an absolute bitch to do, by the way. Do the Huracan. Just make it white. It's easy for you to do.
Yeah,
that
the Huracan. Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be easy. But yeah, so if anybody's interested, go onto the Jadlam website and buy yourself a kit. And then once you've built it, you can then put it on their website. And if you win, and if people vote enough for it, you will get a massive amount of vouchers to spend on any kit that you so wish. So yeah, it's a good little group build. So I've done my bit now. I'll mention it again next week.
Yeah.
So
Well, Airfix did do a line of customized cars.
yes,
Capri, Cortina, and
Yeah.
Zodiac. So body kits and sticky out engines, yeah, they've done, but unfortunately they ruined the original tools to do it.
they did, mate. They did, and
Yeah.
that's why that Vauxhall Vivo, whatever it is worth like 400 quid now on eBay. Tragic, really.
Well, the Cortina, certainly, you know, the Lotus Cortina is worth a lot of money.
It is,
the
yeah.
Viva, the Viva is one they didn't do because I built one a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Capri's another one. I think they did 3 in total. The Zodiac, so the original tools are gone.
Yeah. They were called custom
Like
with a
Crackle
K,
Cat or something.
Yeah. Was it custom something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Let me have a look. Where's it? Airfix. Where's Airfix 2? Where was it called?
I think one of them's called Crackle Cat.
Yeah.
But that's K and no C's.
Yeah. I can't know what it's called now. Because you got to remember they did the Saber Vet, didn't they, back in the day, which was an MPC kit, which was a custom. But yeah, the Capri, wasn't it? Capri was definitely one that
the Mark 1 called Tina and the Ford Zodiac.
Yeah. Airfix.
Oh, the Cordoba.
Yeah, the Crackle Cat. Crumbs. That yeah. I wonder if when he's got one of them for sale. But yeah, that was done in 1980, wasn't it? They basically got the tool in and they basically
ruined
I wonder
them.
if they still got it. But if they did release that would be a great little vintage classic, wouldn't it? Don't start talking about cars. Nigel will be on soon. Yeah.
That would be nice.
Nigel won't come on until Zin goes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Jim, Ben's saying that US shipbuilders are a special breed in so many ways, but just remember, tank fans think they have big guns at 88 millimeter. That's cute.
That's
Try
not US.
Yeah, definitely.
You ain't wrong.
The pterodactyl, he's in, son.
Yeah, it was a Westland experimental tailless aircraft that was developed in the 1950s.
I've never heard of it, mate.
No, not many people have, but I wrote about it a little bit in the sense that some early aircraft had some really, really strange names, you know, and Westland pterodactyl, I think, wins the prize for the weirdest names, although Hawker's first 2 aircraft that they ever worked on and released was something called the Duiker, and then another aircraft called the Humpback. So I mean, get that for weird names, but I think they rally strongly when you think about the the Tempest and the Hunter and so on. So they did really well after a dodgy start.
Martin Mountford. I've never done any floaty things until I bought the Airfix Vintage Classic RAF Rescue launch, and the hull is that warped, it's unbuildable. Hardly a good introduction to building ships. I'm going to lay it on here. If I go through many kits from the 1970s, 80s, late 90s, all the hulls were pretty warped.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Well,
Even
anyway,
now, I've got a Hella Queen Mary up there.
Yeah.
Queen Mary. Beautiful kit. Hull, because of the size of it, is warped. But once you glue it together, clamp it, make sure it's pucker, it will come together good, because believe it or not, on those hulls, the plastic is very thin. The lifeboat, the 7 lifeboat, again, put it together, glue it up, make sure it's pucker, use the clamps. It will go straight. I'm just thinking of the kits that I've had that have been warped, especially on the wings. Put the 2 wings together, glue them up, bit of tape, use the old clamps, and you'll be absolutely fine. Seriously, I wouldn't just look at it and go, "Oh, it's warped," and then get you to dip it in the bin. I wouldn't do that. I would seriously just take your time with it. Sometimes you have to get above being an assembler.
Be a modeler.
To be a modeler. Don't get me wrong, I'm an assembler. I love assembling kits.
Me too.
I like a bit of a challenge.
But there is sometimes where you got to look at it as a challenge. And
I'll dare anybody to buy an Airfix 600 scale ship and not have the whole sides warped.
Warped, yeah.
They're all
Same with Trumpeter, mate. Trumpeter.
Yeah.
They're long.
You're right. But you're right, Moss. When you jig those hull sides together, I usually jig the hull with the decking plate as well.
The decking plate.
So you jig all that together and it goes hard. No problem whatsoever.
Yeah, I get that, definitely. And I said, I've bought a Trumpeter kit before, that Hella Queen Mary, He's only had 1 release, 2 releases. It's Hella, but it's good. It's Airfix, but it's Hella now.
Is that the Queen Mary 2?
Yeah, I've got it up there.
That's got a 1-piece hull.
No, it's not the Queen, is it?
Sure, it has, because I had that kit and sold it.
2 sides.
I don't mind Trumpeter kits or Academy.
There's 2 sides to it. There's 2 sides to it. Because I had a look at it.
I could have sworn it had 2. It was a 1-piece hull.
Sure. I've got it up here. I've only ever opened the box. No, it's 2-piece, isn't it? I'll have a look in a minute. But here's another example, okay? Let me get this one down. This is one that I'm getting trapped here. I'm getting trapped. Oh, there you go. Revell British Vosper MTB. That's a 1-piece hull as well. So ignore me then, bollocks to you. But no, I'm sure that the Mary's a 2-piecer because of the size of it. Sure, it's the Queen Mary.
I could have sworn it was a 1-piece hull. It's a black 1-piece.
Might be actually, yeah. But they do. They you've got to play with some of this stuff, and when you build it, it's absolutely fine. I'm gonna look at that Queen Mary now. I'm sure that Queen Mary is a 2-piecer.
If Martin's looking for his first time experience with the ship, then again, the old reliable standby to me, and I've never done any of their 700 scale ships, but some of their 350th things are very nice right out of the box. You don't have to get a bunch of, or if any, photo etch for them if you don't want. Go that route. Even if size is an issue, get say their what is it, the Forrest Sherman. Yeah, their little 350 scale Forrest Sherman class destroyer from World War II. I mean, that's a nice little kit that'll fall together.
Looking up Airfix now, actually.
It's not. It doesn't show you on scale, mates. I'm just trying to see if I've got some images on here.
I'm sure it was a 2-piecer. Sure, it was a two-piece. Hella released it in 2005, straight after.
Yeah, they did. It was. I'm sure it was a Hella tool and not an Airfix tool. But Airfix
Am I thinking of the Revell one, the Queen Mary? Is that the one I'm thinking of? It's got two.
The Revell Queen Mary had two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Queen Mary 2 was a
Sure, that's
huge.
it. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah. First ship should be a Tamiya 1350th USS Fletcher destroyer, also warped hulls.
Yeah, it was one-piece hull. Queen Mary 2.
Am I thinking of the Revell one that's a two-piece?
Yeah, I think you're thinking of the Revell Queen Mary, which was the 3-stacker, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, that's the Queen Mary. The Queen Mary 2 had a black one-piece hull. I'm looking at a picture of the contents from the box.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. My bad then. Yeah, look on eBay. That's what I would do. Hang on. So, but would that be unacceptable if it was a fuselage or wings of a plane? So why is it okay on the ship of a boat? Think about it, mate. Just think about the size of that plastic.
Yeah.
Just think about it.
I'll go with Martin on this one. I'll say, especially in this day and age, granted, if it's an old kit that happened back then, I think now with newer releases and things like that, it's not an unreasonable expectation for a modeler to not have to deal with warped parts in this day and age with a new tooled kit, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of get where he's coming from. No, warped parts are sucking anything, you know, and it's a gamble if you can get it to heat up and get it to the shape that you need, you know. So,
but the thing about with those hulls though is that when the way they're designed, you've got all the internal ribs, haven't you, on these boats?
No, not necessarily
on the hull, and you've got the deck. In theory, once you pin all that to the actual deck, you've got 3 points where it's glued. So you've got the two going around where the hull is, where the deck is, and then it comes to the point where the keel is.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 points of gluing, and once you've got all that set, you know, you've got to use rubber bands and tape. By that point, then the warpage will disappear.
If it depends on how thick the plastic is and how severe the warp is. If the warp's too severe, you're not going to be able to get your deck in it regardless. You know,
this is one of the perennial problems I think that all model makers encounter from time to time.
Yeah,
and one of the examples. In fact, I've just got this in my hand now, but Harry Marwick's just mentioned it. I'm doing a Gloucester Pioneer or Gloucester Whittle, depending on what you want to call it, and I started off gluing the front here, and it pushed the back half right out by about probably 3 millimeters or so. But you just have to put it back. And look, there's a fair amount of filler going into this in various places, and you know the tailpipe here needs a fair amount of filler, but and the undercarriage on the front, you know, on the nose doesn't, you know, undercarriage door doesn't fit properly, you know, but and there's no detail in the cockpit really, unless you want to put it in yourself, and the back of the cockpit panel here didn't fit properly, so you have to fill that in, and it's probably going to sit on its tail because I haven't put enough weight in it, and you can go on and on and on, you know.
Yeah.
But the reality of this is that there's a moderate amount of work at best in this, and if these little tiny kits like this, and this is no bigger than the Miles M52, if they warp, which they do at this length, they're going to warp at the longer length of 1/600th, 1/700th, 1/350th. Well, the plastic's going to be thicker, yes, but it's the same set of skills to get that right as it is this. It's not. It's really no different. You know, and you can heat them. You can do all sorts of things with them to make them get. I mean, the other thing that happened with this actually is the dihedral on the wings wasn't quite right. Well, actually, I had lots of fun with my heat gun. But you have to be careful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And to Maz's point, you get something that's big and long and narrow, and it's hot plastic coming out of a mold, and it hits cold air or whatever. Yeah, the chances are that yeah, they may warp more easily than say smaller parts, but Tamiya's don't warp, So it's just like who's doing it right and who's doing it wrong, and what are they doing right in the process so they don't have those issues? And do other model manufacturers want to go as far to take whatever extra steps that they're doing to not have warped parts?
There is a company that wasn't an expensive company, and I've never had warp issues with any of the models from this company.
Yeah.
That's Matchbox.
Mm-hmm.
Even their ships, whole sides never warped; they just fitted perfectly. And I think it's to do with the type of plastic they used.
As I understand it, is when the plastic is still hot when it comes out of the tool.
Yeah.
So that's probably the most likely point where it's going to warp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But also, if it's stored badly, it'll warp as well, won't it?
Especially if it's still warm when they store it.
Mm-hmm.
But Ben's saying that one of the Tamiya kits he built was badly warped. So it does happen. Yes.
So if you go back and read Ben's post, I had to read it 2 or 3 times. I don't think he's saying the Tamiya ones are warped. I think it should be a period instead of a comma, maybe. So yeah, the first ship should be the Tamiya 1/350th Fletcher destroyer, and that's what I was trying to say. Comma, also warped hulls, maybe also in regards to warped hulls, rubber bands, tape, and a heat gun.
Oh, I see, right.
I don't think it's all one statement. I think it's 2 different statements going on. Who knows? And then Nigel would be a great one to answer.
To answer the question, because he worked with plastic. Come on then, Nigel. Come on, mate.
Yeah.
Let us know why.
He'd be a great one to answer that. He knows all that molding.
Plastic is warped when cooling. But yeah, I am the architect of the Queen Mary 2 and helped Airfix and Revell with their respective kits.
Oh, wow.
The Airfix Hella 1600 was a single-piece hull, whether the Revell 1400 was a 2-piece. So that's what I got right. That's my bad. That's my bad, mate. As I say, I've got the Queen Mary up there, which and in my mind I thought that was a 2-piece hull, but the Revell one, which is up in my attic, yeah, that is 2-piece. Then I thought it was the other way around. So Stephen Payne, the architect, so you actually built the Queen Mary. You were the designer of the Queen Mary 2, then, were you, Stephen? Incredible. It's amazing who watches this show, isn't it?
Can I ask Stephen a question?
Yeah, crack on.
I watched a program once on the television years and years ago, and they said that the designer of the Queen Mary 2 was originally a Blue Peter badge holder. Is that true?
He would have had a gold one, wouldn't he?
I've got one.
Is that alongside your Jim will fix it badge as well?
I don't know.
I've got one of those.
It was just one of the things I remember about the documentary, because he distinctly remembers saying to the interviewer that he always wanted to design ships, and he was a Blue Peter badge holder, and then it turned out to design the QE2. Yeah.
Wow. I just found it on Wikipedia.
Sorry, the Queen Mary. It was the Queen Mary thing, not the QE2.
Yeah. Understand.
An interesting, funny story about the QE2. I don't know if anyone knows anything about what happened when it got launched. Because Cunard were going to
don't know what I've done with it.
Yeah.
Cunard were going to call her the Queen Mary 2, but when she was launched, the Queen named her the Queen Elizabeth II.
Mm.
Wow.
It's a shame that Airfix haven't got that tooling for the Queen Mary. Hella's got it.
Yeah, well, I think it was originally a Hella mould.
Did they re-release it, Hella?
I don't think so. It doesn't say that on Scalemates, but Scalemates can't always be trusted.
Airfix are definitely the first to release it.
Yeah, they definitely released it first, but I think the Hella kit came out later in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I just looked up his. He was given a Blue Peter Gold badge 32 years after he complained to Blue Peter for saying that nothing like her will ever be built again. Fair enough.
I remember being on the Intrepid in New York, and she came into the dock alongside the Intrepid, and honestly, the Intrepid was completely dwarfed.
Yeah, I get that. Jock saying he has the rescue launch and my whole parts are perfect, not warping at all. But this is, quality control, mate. Quality control. But like I said, there's what Sprue and Glue said there. Warm water hairdryer can sort warp parts out.
Yep.
And also a good amount of tape, elastic bands. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, he is a gold Blue Peter badge holder. So
there we go. I remember that from the documentary. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So we're in the presence of Blue Peter royalty here.
We are definitely. Yeah.
Warlock to you, sir, Mr. Payne. Thank you very much for coming along.
Yeah. Well, he's got an OBE as well, Order of the British Empire. So he's definitely up there.
Successful career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I'm right, he designed the MS Rotterdam as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, interesting. I became interested in ships watching Blue Peter. When they visited the Queen Elizabeth in May 1965. Crumbs.
That would have been the QE1.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. But I wonder if you could knock on the door of Airfix and say, get that Queen Mary re-released again. He gave us a tour of the QM2 on the live stream. Oh, fantastic. I have to watch that. Most definite. But yeah, as I say, I don't really build ships. I'm sad. I've done boats, but I've never done a big ship. But the Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mary up there is definitely on my bucket list because I bought it. Same along with that Great Western. Did you ever build yours, John? Your Great Western?
No, it's still up there.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for Nigel for sending that to me. And I filmed the opening. I think I did a video of the opening. I just haven't started it yet, but I'm very grateful to have it. And thank you, Nigel, for sending that to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. John Williams, mate, I really don't know why vintage classics are such a nightmare when it comes to quality control. My real only get out clause for Airfix is this: that those old toolings, the sprues, or where they connect to the sprues, the gates, are so fragile. If they've just dumped those sprues in a box, bits are going to fly off them. What they should be doing, if they really want to get vintage classics back in, they should be taking that molding out of the machine and putting it straight into a bag. That's what they should be doing. Definitely. So that if any bits do fall off, they end up in the bag. So
just a note there for John. You only require the machine guns on one of the versions built from the kit.
Yeah.
So if you want to build the later variant which had the machine gun armament, then you'd need that part.
Yeah, if I did the rescue launch, it will be the one that the first one, because it just looks more British. It doesn't.
The earlier version didn't have the machine gun anti-aircraft equipment, did it?
That's right. Yeah.
The only other problem you have is that when they take the sprue out of the mold, they have to cut it up to get it into the bag. So probably when they cut the sprue up to get it into the bag, bits are falling off.
Yeah. But it's always the vintage classics.
Yeah.
I've never had a problem with them.
Yeah, I've had 4 on the bounce, haven't I, lads? I've done a video and boom, part missing.
No, I've never had a problem.
Nigel, one of a little bit of history for you. and I wasn't told this directly from Airfix. I'm really friendly with a couple of the girls in customer support at Hornby Hobbies.
Oh my.
Because I ring them up a lot, as you can imagine. They told me that Dale did a presentation to them all explaining that sometimes, even if they haven't got the kit in stock, that it could be a rebox of another kit. And he said, and he made it vitally important that customer service should be epic. They, for me, and I've even gone in there as an anonymous using a different email. Well, I used my work email, which didn't even mention my name. Didn't even mention Moz at all in it. And I got a response after 5 days telling me that the part was being sent out free of charge, and I got it the day after. So it's definitely worth. If you don't hear from them, email them again. And Nigel, if you do have a problem, feel free to email me, and I will. I will interfere for you if you like. That's a good word, interfere, and get involved.
Take up,
you know, yeah. Long as you've got the picture of the sticker that's on the box, you should be fine. Especially if you've not started building the kit yet. This is why I keep saying, once you start building the kit, it's very difficult for you to say, "Oh, it could be you." You know, the carpet master may have come overnight and taken it from your sprue. Do you know what I mean? But before then, if you've got the kit and just show a picture of it, they'll send out to you free of charge. I've never had a kit yet which they haven't provided me with the spare parts that be missing. But yeah, you're right. I am cursed when it comes to vintage classics, and because I'm honest, I put him in the video, mate. I never cut him out the video. I tell people straight. And I do chew the edge of the workbench when something goes wrong with it. I've never got a part missing on a new kit or a modern kit. The problem is always the
vintage
classics. And I'm not the only one. Whether they do them at a price point or the fact that these kits are like that. So, but yeah.
I think Alex Mann had serious issues at a point as well with Airfix Classics, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, interesting because a load of people had problems with the beach buggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Moss did.
But mine was perfect.
Moss got his replacement parts, and they were bloody short shot as well, weren't they?
Yeah, that's it. Short shot.
The bomb bug, that was not the buggy. It was the
bomb bug. Sorry, yeah.
No, this was the beach buggy. One of the parts was short shot. Mm-hmm. I can't remember which one, but the one I had was perfect.
The beach buggy, the bomb bug for me had the short shot. That's what I had.
One, yeah.
Yeah, on the back window. So, but anyway, it's just a sensor decal placement instruction for hydrate, mate. I can scan that in for you and send it to you, mate. If you just want that decal replacement instructions. Just give me a shout, mate, and I will definitely do that for you, my friend. Not a problem. They purposely do it with Moz and send him a special kit with a piece purposely removed for the lulz. I think that as well, but you know, it's one of them. Anyway, folks, we're nearly at 10 o'clock. We've got 2 minutes to go. Any quick questions, chuck them in. Nigel, they can take a while to reply, but they do get back to you. I have had missing parts in pocket kit, and they always come good. Yeah, I get that. You know, they do come good for me as well. So, but anyway, Barry, do you want to introduce yourself because you're a newbie on here?
Yeah, a bit of a newbie. North Devon Model Society. I'm just a poor schmoo who runs the YouTube channel. Our big honcho, Sarah, she's the big cheese, and she's the one that does all these fantastic 3D printed kits, designs them, prints them, builds them, and wins awards with them. So I'm just one of many.
Yeah. Well, your model club's one of the biggest now, isn't it? Well, you got 200 going or something?
I don't know. We have meetings every Thursday. I go once a fortnight myself.
Yeah.
And usually quite well attended. We got like a subdivision called Kids and Kits, which goes out to schools and introduces children to building models.
Yeah.
So we're getting them into it. Do the rounds of the shows. Me, I just quite happy to sit here just building models all day. Now that I'm retired, I've been through 13 baggies this year, and so I'm going to do something else next year.
Yeah, fair enough, my friend. Fair enough. But it's nice to have you on board.
No problem.
Yeah, we just, there's another one as Clive have asked to join us as well. But yeah, it's I did enjoy your model show. I did a video about it.
Yeah, I did one as well. This is quite interesting. I've an interest in filmmaking.
Yeah.
Yours focused on models with a bit at the beginning and a bit at the end.
Yeah.
But the one I did, I was selling the show as a whole.
Yeah.
Two different perspectives.
Yeah. I didn't just because of the rules of YouTube, I didn't go into the make and bake, the build and paint area because
make and take.
Yeah, because there was children in there, you see, and if you put that on a video, they swap that to made for kids, and so you can't get any comments on the video, and you can't get any advertising revenue. So I didn't show that.
We're not monetized.
Yeah,
we're not
monetized.
So
I didn't show that, but yeah, I do understand you do that. So which is fair enough.
So it's a 20-minute advert for the show itself, if anything. So since we're not monetized, I could get away with putting it in. And I've also given Sarah all the footage of the kids in kits so that she can put something together to go around schools with to say this is what we do.
Yeah, exactly. I bought 3 Vintage Classics and the QC is appalling. The RAF launch is I don't think it's unbuildable, mate. I think you just persevere with it, you'll get there. And as I said, it's always been the way with Vintage Classics. They are what they say they are, and that's the beauty of them. You're not hoodwinked by anything. They are reasonably priced, and honestly, to be fair, the Vintage Classics, and I've done this on a few occasions, I've bought the Vintage Classic kit and built the original from the 1970s because of the decal sheet that's in the box. So that's but when it comes to new tooling, there's never an issue really. There really isn't when it comes to QC. They're pretty much on board. Another Stolly's a bit of a misnomer.
I think I mentioned this earlier, didn't I, Moss? That if you want to get the best result from a Vintage Classic, buy an older kit because the mold is fresher.
Yeah.
Get the decals out of the Vintage Classic because you can't beat them.
Yeah. Exactly. Totally agree. And on that bombshell, we're going to call it an evening. So we're going to go off and have a chat behind the scenes, so don't go anywhere. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've had a really good evening. Paul Wiltshire, I will give a ship a go at some point. There is an RAF, the rescue launch I'm tempted to build. And also I do want to get on with that Queen Mary 2 as well at some point. But anyways, thank you all for watching again. We'll be back next Monday. And I'm going to try and get Dave from 3D Gizmo on because he's now got a subscription service for his figures. So if you're into figure painting, you will enjoy that next week. Anyways, we're losing some people watching. We'll take next week. See you all. Take care and good night.
Good night.